Hey Cedar Grove family, Garrick here. Since we're not going to be having Sunday services the next 2 weeks with the coronavirus going on, we decided as a church staff to stay in touch with some video messages. So Ken asked if I would start off. This past Wednesday we had staff meeting and I shared from Joshua 1, a story of Joshua being commissioned by God to lead Israel for our staff devos. So I just wanted to take some time and share that message with you guys since we won't all be together this Sunday. So if you have a Bible and you'd like to follow along, you can go ahead and flip open to Joshua chapter 1. And this is a chapter of the Bible that I think a lot of times gets reduced to just one verse, which is Joshua 1:9, talking about strength and courage, because we like to be strong and courageous. But I think there's a lot more to this text than we often hear preached. So I just wanted to take some time and walk through some things in this text that can be an encouragement to us as we walk through this tough time of quarantine and work and schools being shut down. So I just want to start off with Joshua chapter 1, verses 2 and 3. Moses, my servant, is dead. Now, therefore, arise, go over this Jordan, you and all this people, to the land which I am giving to them, the children of Israel. Every place that the sole of your foot will tread upon, I have given you, as I said to Moses. So we start off right away that Moses has passed. He has been leading Israel for a long time, and now that he has passed, Joshua is being called into a position of leadership. And as I was talking to the staff about this on Wednesday, I was sharing how we can all lead in our different ministries through this tough time. And while you might not all be leading a ministry, you're all leading somehow, whether it's in your family, amongst friends. Jesus calls us all to go and make disciples. So if we're taking that commission seriously, we're all out there in the world, in the workplace, in our schools, making disciples. So we're all leading somebody. So as we look at this text, in verse 3, God tells Joshua that every place that the sole of your foot will tread upon, I have given you, as I said to Moses. So God told Israel that he would give them the land which the sole of their feet would tread upon. And he doesn't say that I will give you all the land, right? We know that Israel faces many different kingdoms and faces a lot of different opposition. And they actually have to go out and walk and march as a nation. And every place that the sole of their feet will tread upon, God will give them. Now, that doesn't mean every step is going to be an easy step. There's going to be tough steps. There's going to be wars. There's going to be battles that they fight. But God says that he will be with them and he has given them that land. So even as we face tough circumstances today and trials, we know that God will be going with us. And he continues this in verse 5. No man shall be able to stand before you all the days of your life. As I was with Moses, so I will be with you. I will not leave you nor forsake you. So no man, and as the text says, no man shall be able to stand before you. That doesn't mean that nobody will try to stand against us, that nobody would try to stand against Israel, but no man shall be able to, right? As we walk with God, no man can step in and separate us from him. Right? God is telling Israel that he will go with them and he will not leave them or forsake them. So wherever they go, whatever battles they face, whatever trials they encounter, God is telling them that he is going to be with them. And the same is true for us, that wherever we might go, whatever we might encounter with this new coronavirus going on, whatever trials we've encountered before this, and whatever trials we encounter after this, God is going to be with us, just like he was with Israel. And Israel wasn't always the greatest, most obedient nation. Israel didn't survive because Moses or Joshua was a great leader. They didn't survive because they were a great kingdom or a great nation, but they survived because God was with them. And the same can be said for us, that as we go and as we live our life, God is going to be with us wherever we go. And then the text continues in verses 8 and 9, which is really what I wanted to get to here. I'll read from verses 8 and 9 here. This book of the law shall not depart from your mouth, but you shall meditate in it day and night, that you may observe to do according to all that is written in it. For then you will make your way prosperous, and then you will have good success. Have I not commanded you? Be strong and of good courage. Do not be afraid, nor be dismayed, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. And then verse 8 is really what I want to hone in on here. God is telling Joshua that the book of the law shall not depart from his mouth. That the book of the law should be on his tongue. It should be what he speaks about, what he talks about. He also tells him that he shall meditate in it day and night. Right? We have God's word. We have the Bible given to us to know God by, to learn about him, to study the history of the church. And Timothy tells us that all God's word is profitable for teaching and training in righteousness in 2 Timothy 3:16. So we know that with God's word, we can stay focused on him, learn about him, and we're called to meditate on it, not just read it and walk away from it, not just know about it and know all the facts about it, to really truly meditate on it. And meditation takes time. And in today's world, we're all busy, and it's easy to take that time and put it into other things. But right now, as we're all isolated and being called to isolate ourselves from big groups, there's a lot of events, a lot of functions that are part of our daily normal lives that aren't happening right now. So I'd encourage you all to take this extra time that you might have and meditate on God's word. Read it as a family in your house. Take the time to study and dig deeper. Catch up on the Bible reading plan that we all have at the church. Whatever it might be, take that time and meditate on God's word. Think about it. And then, as the text says, meditate in it day and night, that you may observe to do according to all that is written in it. We're not called to just meditate on it to think about it, but we're called to meditate on it so that we can do all that is written in it, so that we can live out the truths that we are learning. Joshua was called as a leader to memorize, to study, to know God's word, to know the book of the law, so that he could lead Israel according to it. So as we are all living our lives in today's world, we're all called to live according to God's truth, so that we can observe all that is written in it. We have to know it so that we can live it, not just to know it so that we know about it, and not that we can just recite all the facts and the stories, but we're called to do all that is according to God's word. Because then, as the text continues, then we will be prosperous, and then we will have good success. So we have God's word to meditate on it so that we can live it out, because then we will be prosperous and have good success. Not good success according to the world's terminology or the world's standards, but for Joshua, he was called into leading Israel, and we're all called into different things, and our lives are all going to look differently, but we can all live them for God and according to his standard, and however we might be living our life. And as today, as many people are lost and lonely and stuck at home even, reach out, stay connected with those people that you know, those coworkers, those friends, the family members. Stay in touch and just stay connected. Don't allow this time to be a time that we're focused only on ourselves. And ministry and ministering and witnessing to others might look a lot different as we're stuck at home, but we still have the opportunity to share our faith with those around us. And then as verse 9 continues, have I not commanded you to be strong and of good courage? Do not be afraid nor be dismayed, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. Here, God is reiterating the point he made in verse 5, right? That I will be with you. I will not leave you nor forsake you. And then in verse 9, the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. We're giving that promise twice within just a couple verses, that God is going to be with us wherever we go. God is going to be with us here at home. He's going to be with us as we go out and about into the world. He's going to be with us wherever we go. And that is why Israel was successful. That's why Joshua was successful as a leader, was because he followed God's word. He followed his commands. It wasn't about him being a great leader, but it was about God being with him and Joshua depending on God and depending on God's word. So as we are all in our own different circumstances in life, might look a little differently day to day right now as things are going on in the world, as the coronavirus is spreading around, I would just encourage you all to remain strong and courageous, not in your own strength and your own abilities, but to continue to depend on God. And as we face this trial, just like Israel faced trials, we're going to face trials, and there's going to be trials now, there's going to be trials after coronavirus. But as we walk through those trials, they help us to depend on God and realize how weak we all are ourselves. So as we walk through this, continue to meditate on God's word, focus on him, and depend on him as he carries us through this time. And so I think Amber is the next one up. So be looking, checking, and she will be posting something here shortly, another video message. So just stay tuned for that.